Welcome back, family, to the Back Issue Book Club. We are here for another week of DC's Night Terrors event. This week, we've got Catwoman 2, Nightwing 2, Punchline 2, Superman 2, and WonderWoman 2.
5. Count them. 5 wonderful books.
Last week was a banger week. We both liked a lot of the books last week. So
yeah,
let's hope this week can keep it going. First up, we've got Catwoman number 2. I
like the story.
Do you? Oh, okay.
I say love.
Okay.
I liked it.
What did? Do you have anything specific that you?
Well, I mean, the artwork was kind of simple, and I was a little disappointed in the
artwork. It's very
one
layer. There's not a lot of depth to it, I feel like.
Yeah, it's drawn a lot like the way you would have seen it drawn in the 50s and 60s.
That's a good point.
But, well, I mean, Batman is supposed to be very young here. The Joker is a kid, which is weird because the Joker doesn't become Joker as a kid.
That's good. Yeah, true. I didn't think of that. It's just weird to see him smooth face with curls, and I don't know. This design choice was interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, this is more though. You got to remember that this is Catwoman's nightmare.
Very true.
So, her imagining the problems that she has with the people that she has, her sister, who is not only a super good superhero, but a nun. And how she can distinguish the two, I don't know, but...
It's a nightmare. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, the gist of it is that the Joker is threatening her sister Zero, and she's got to try to save her or warn her or whatever.
Well, and all along the way, the sister is doubting her and just giving her guff, hurdle after hurdle, every step of the way.
Yeah.
Eventually, Catwoman's like, all right, whatever, I'll go to confessional. It's been years. And I was like, dude, I know Joker's going to be in the other side. I fucking know it. And
exactly.
There's a couple of panels, and then there's a whole panel where it just shows his lower half of his mouth. What do angels use to start fires? A match made in heaven.
And honestly, I'm glad he's a kid there because that was a really bad joke.
Oh, I thought it was a good dad joke.
But he's a kid.
You're right.
Not even a dad
You're
at this point. And leave it to Catwoman to go to church wearing a black mini skirt and thigh-high boots.
Yes,
but
yeah. Nightmare.
I mean, honestly, if that was real,
you might see me at church more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But they go back. Her, Catwoman, and Batman go back to the chemical lab or something to try to figure out. Oh no, back to the pet store where all the snakes were, to try to figure out what snake it was, so they can make an anti-venom for the poison that the Joker poured in the punch that everybody got. And they run into these Medusa Joker crossover twins.
I almost thought they were like a version of Harley Quinn or something. The way they look.
They definitely have clown paint, yeah, and the alternating legging colors and stuff.
Yeah,
Nausea and Lascious. I don't know.
The Handmaidens of Chaos.
Yeah, don't know, but
yeah, I mean it was a rather quick fight anyway.
Yeah, but her sister finally is God forgive me, I don't like doing this, and she starts interrogating Joker physically, and they find let's see, I'm gonna try too much. My other eye's fluttering and things are getting dark. I don't know how much time is passing, but I can hear everything. There's what do you call it? A beep 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 beep.
Yeah, her heartbeat as she dies basically.
Right, she got the venom in her, and then when she as she dies, she wakes up. Love and War, Gotham War. I think that's the next Batman event or something. So. And
her standing out right next to her window in underwear and a half shirt.
Yeah, if you want to call that underwear, I mean that's it's a tiny bikini cover.
It's not outerwear. Yeah.
All you can do is have faith in why you started the war and fight until the war is through. So she's grappling with her, I guess, anti-hero-ness, maybe, where she stands.
But her eye is normal again, though, at the end. So I guess the eye damage was only in her dream.
Oh, look at that.
So I guess part of her nightmare was losing an eye and being scarred. She didn't have her beauty anymore.
True. There was no romance in this one, like the other one.
No, but Batman did say he loves you. I love you.
That's true. There was a little bit of romance in this one. Batman said, "I love you."
He doesn't usually say that. It's like smiling for him.
That's right.
Hi, Batman. I love you.
Look at my smile.
Yeah.
All right. Nightwing?
Yeah.
All right. So we pick it up. At the end of the last Nightwing, we see Barbara Gordon being brought into the prison as like a cybernetic skeleton thing. And
now she's got a different name in this here.
I forget. What do they call
something with an A.
Oh, Babs?
No, it begins with an A. 6 letters. I can't remember what it was. I'll find
Oracle?
it. There you go. It begins with an O.
There's an A in it. I was going to let it go. But, yeah, we're back to the adventures of Nightwing and Scarecrow in Cell 666. And there's an ever-changing map, a la Harry Potter. And they're trying to decide how to break out of here. And they talk about how the women of the Bat family are more intense than the men. And it shows, like, Cass. I don't know these girls very well. I forget. Kate.
Cell 237, 1408.
Yeah. I forget their name.
Yeah, I don't know them at all.
But anyway, they get out and they start to make their way to the mess hall. You killed the Batman, and there's all these like funny versions of the villains.
Yeah, I love Killer Croc.
I was gonna say I think the Croc is my favorite because his head is a purse of leather.
Yes.
And then I guess that's Mr. Freeze thawed out on the ground.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
And then the Penguin's a literal penguin in a top hat. Catwoman's a cat. I don't know who the Spider is there.
I don't have a clue.
But anyway, Poison Ivy, I guess, is the wilting flower.
Yep.
So
that would be my second favorite.
So it's a fun little who's who there. But in there is like this soulless Oracle, and she's still in love with Dick. So she's talking about
hello.
Excuse me. Let's be adults here.
I'm trying.
What's the big idea? I thought I warned you. Harley Quinn's like the warden. She's like, God, I swear this kind of crap always happens when the kitchen serves meatballs. Nightwing's like, Harley? And then she sicks the hyenas on him, like the mess hall. And whatever, hilarity, I guess, ensues. I forgot about...
I'm trying to remember what it was, because, I mean, when I first saw Harley, I thought that she was the warden also, but then something happened afterwards, and I'm like, okay, so she wasn't the warden?
Maybe we'll get to that. There's Solomon Grundy, who's like a baby. It's raining guards. The house can try, but I just found an ace up my sleeve. He grabs some keys. And, so long, boys. Have fun storming the madhouse, she says. Yeah, that's kind of not really Warden-esque. They're trying to find Scarecrow's contact in, like, the back halls.
Yeah.
And Oracle says to do that as well. So they're going through these back halls that are just, like, empty. And talking to this guy on the radio, and he's getting, like, indignant because he's bummed that Nightwing is now Scarecrow's partner instead of him. And they make their way, and they follow the blood trails, and they come to this, like, decaying body.
Still juicy, though. Still very juicy.
Right, but it's decayed way more than 3 days worth, you know?
Yeah, no, it looks like he took an acid bath.
Plus, he was just talking to them. And then he gets up and grabs Nightwing, and from what I hear, you've made lots of mistakes, and Oracle's trying to talk to him, and before you turn to Nightmare 2, get out of here, and there's a bunch of, like, code, and there's just romance back and forth. I've got you, I've always got you. There's a bug in her programming, and it's like a literal bug, like lightning bug, or firefly, or whatever you want to call it. So Let's see. Welcome one, welcome all to the most magnificent show on earth. Tonight's act features high-flying chills and all the spills we pray to never see. A place where our darkest dreams assume shape, where our dreaded desires take hold. All of a sudden, that is said by Insomnia, who's like a ringleader in a top hat. And they're in a circus, all of a sudden.
Yep. And he says, the ringmaster, it's the warden in a different costume.
Ah, okay.
So I'm like, does that mean...
Oh, from the first issue, because he was in the control room saying, like, give him more shocks.
Yeah.
So that must be... Maybe Harley's was just like a enforcer cop or whatever.
Yeah, captain of the guards.
Yeah. And then Batman's like a monster. He's like, murder most foul. And
which is a Shakespearean line.
Oh, okay. There you go. And Nightwing is like morphing into more of an animal with claws. And Oracle and Nightwing are fighting Batman. And I guess he's reliving this nightmare that he kills Batman. Am I missing anything else there? I'm trying to... This will only take a minute. It'll come back for me.
That one panel that he's says, you think I haven't lived this 1,000 times? And that smile that's on his face, I swear it looks like he looks anime there.
This artist does a little anime-ish style.
That's very anime-ish. Behold the boy wonder in his natural habitat, the bottom of that page.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Right before he says, this is no longer my nightmare, this is yours.
This is no longer my nightmare, this is yours.
Look, there's the panel right before that. You think I haven't lived this 1,000 times? I think it's time you had something to fear.
Ah. Yes. Oh, like the up close thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like absolutely Goku there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and he's continuing to morph into this like bird animal thing.
Yeah. Maybe like a Nightwing.
Yeah. Hey. And all the Bat girls are together again, back to back, fighting this alternate Batman. And everything's on fire, and Dick tells him to leave, and he's there, and he goes back for Scarecrow, and he's like, dare I say we might be friends? And he's like, shut up and take my hand. I won't forget what happened here, Crane. I know you won't, because a part of you liked it. That time you got to kill Daddy. Darkness is a part of us, the thin margin between dread and desire. Tonight you tasted it, and it left you wanting more. And then he wakes up.
Well,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, that has been kind of Nightwing's whole thing, his entire career, his entire life, is trying to truly get out of Batman's shadow and prove that he's just as good.
Yeah. Not yet. I need to know. How does the nightmare end? Bad dreams are only dreams. That's what the bard said anyway. But some of them stay with us. I think I'll be thinking about this one for a long time. And this one just ends. There's no next time on. So.
Yeah. But it is kind of funny, though, because before those last few panels, he wakes up and says, no, I want to go back in there.
Right.
Because, that's how much it torments him, is he's willing to go back in there to try just to get answers.
Yeah. He did this all where I can indulge it, where fantasies come true. It's Lord, it's beautiful, ha ha ha. This is all Scarecrow talking. Yeah. Laughing more as he burns away, I guess.
It was an okay story.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It got like poignant in the end there, like trying to make a point, which it did. So, Punchline. This was an interesting one.
Issue number 2.
This was very She-Hulk as well.
Breaking fourth wall.
Yeah, hanging on like the YouTube progress bar of a video and stuff like that.
Yeah, hitting stop and.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of this issue.
You liked the first one pretty good.
Yeah, this one just got a little bit too much.
I guess.
It was like her nightmare is that she has to defeat social media. Okay.
That's true.
To an extent, isn't that everybody's nightmare?
Yeah, putting up with what others say about you.
Yeah. It was kind of funny though at the very end, and I don't want to jump all the way to the end, but I just want to make a point that she clicks like,
And it's like a +1.
and it says +1 exactly.
And then she smashes the X to close the window.
Wouldn't you like to do that for this channel as well?
Don't close the window.
Click like.
Just click like.
There we go. Don't kick it with your foot, because then you'll send me the bill for a broken laptop, and
I won't pay.
It's not fair. We ain't got the money to.
But she wakes up. I think it's okay if we, the whole thing is a chase sequence, really, with Oracle chasing her robotic version and these like faceless clay men.
Yeah. Anonymous people is what they
right, and it's just her talking to herself about like just having a conversation with herself about social media and her perception of herself and stuff like that. So
yeah, and she's gonna be in Night's End as well.
Mm-hmm. So she's gonna wake up, or she did wake up, and she says, "Nothing drowns me out. Looks like nap time's over. It has to be." And she's like in the city, but freaking creepy Insomnia's like looking down over the city. Don't know if she's awake still or not or what, but largely forgettable story, except for like the silliness of like interacting with like the YouTube player and stuff like that.
It does seem kind of funny though that all these superheroes are defeating their nightmares and waking up at about the same time. Makes you wonder, how about the other 8 billion people? Are they waking up too?
No, they're not strong enough.
I would think that the average person would probably be stronger than your average superhero as far in the nightmares. We have less intense nightmares. Who do you think has a more brain damage? Batman or your average person? Who's got more damage up there? And I don't mean like impact to the brain, but I'm saying
like
emotional
therapy
scarring.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, emotional scarring.
Little 4-year-old Cindy who lives in the suburbs. Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. So, Bruce Wayne ain't awake yet, so.
KnightTerrors, Superman, eh?
Is this the last one?
One more after this. WonderWoman.
Gotcha. I did enjoy this story.
Me too. There was a payoff with the Aquaman at the end of the last one.
Yes.
Which I enjoyed thoroughly.
And it did also address what is one of Superman's nightmares and how he overcame it.
Tell us.
Well, one of Superman's biggest nightmares, once they woke him up, was not being able to help everybody in the world at the same time. Like, the weight of the entire world is on his shoulders. And when he came to and said, all right, I got so much stuff I got to do.
Yeah.
Aquaman's like, whoa, dude, we got this. I got people all around the world. We're addressing this already.
Yep.
You do your thing. We got your back.
Yep. That's a great point, yeah. There's a lot of back and forth with his cousin and a newspaper monster and working with Lex and stuff like that, but that's all kind of just flavor text, in my opinion. Just
like Lois fighting the paper reams because of the deadline. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fine. But that was the meat of it, though. Him waking up and Aquaman fighting this blood monster. He was like, drown in blood, Aquaman. And he's like, you think this is the first time I've swim in blood?
Swum in blood.
Shut your mouth. And
that was almost a Green Lantern moment.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And he goes, you just don't know when to quit, do you? And he says, blood never quits. Blood is forever. Blood. And then Superman pops in and says, freezes. Yeah. And he does his like ice breath. And Aquaman goes, grossest popsicle I've ever seen.
It's got some good. This series does have some good liners.
Yeah, there's some good one-liners. Aquaman, what happened? I was hoping you could tell me the same thing. I'll explain everything. But first, I need to Smallville, Lois, and then like this is what you're talking about, where like I gotta take care of damage, and he's like, I've taken care of it. Mira's like, the world's secure. We kept many people safe as we could. You owe us. And I was like, wow, okay, Mira. And then Aquaman's like, I was like, okay, good. Aquaman said, I think what my lovely queen means is you don't have to shoulder everything alone, my friend. Aquaman.
Yeah, we're trying to take the burden off his shoulders, not tell him he has another burden that he has to pay back another time.
Seriously. Aquaman. Arthur. Thank you. That's a sweet panel. I really like that.
Yeah.
And then as Superman's flying away, he says, we'll continue our efforts to keep the surface world safe. And now that we know how to wake everyone up, we can get to work. We glossed over this. They figured out in Lex's laboratory that their ears have developed under the high pressure of the ocean, a thicker wall or something that prevented insomnia's entry into their brain, I guess.
Yeah. That was the best way of saying it, yeah.
Which is cool. They answered the reason why they weren't affected, which is a question that we had at the end of the last issue, you know? So that's cool. That's why they know how to wake people up now. And now Superman is going back to the Hall of Justice.
You know what I was actually just thinking is where Mara says, the world is secure. We kept as many people safe as we could. You owe us.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Amber Heard is still playing her. That's what it was.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's like she can't get the money from Johnny, so she's going after, favors from Superman.
Is this... I'm pretty sure... Is this Brainiac at the end here with the X-rays?
I had no idea who or what that is.
I believe Brainiac's traditional logo is that three... Yeah, that's Brainiac.
So is that supposed to be two separate X-rays, or is that like a frontal and a side profile X-ray of the same person?
I think a front and side of the same person. And then one of them has the Brainiac, and it disappears, and I don't know. Brainiac is involved somehow.
And this says that Superman Adventures continue in Superman 2023 annual and Superman number 6 next month. But this is to be continued in KnightTerrors Night's End.
Yes.
Pretty soon we're going to see the word concluded and not continued. But
yes. Yeah. Solid issue, man. It's not my favorite type of artwork. It's old school.
A little blocky.
Yeah. But it's better than Catwoman's was, in my opinion. But yeah. Solid. And finally, Wonder Woman number 2.
Yes. Which was a 2-part story. Also had Nubia as the second part of the story.
Yes. I skimmed it.
Yeah, look, I read it the same way I read the Sinestro.
Yeah.
So, I read it because I had to.
Right.
But it was actually better than the Sinestro. Not much, but it was better.
So we left off the last issue. Herself basically was this demon that they got into a fight at the end, and the cover shows them fighting. But we are back with Constantine, Swamp Thing, Dr. Fate, all of them, And my boy, the demon.
Ah, okay.
You've lost, demigod. It's over. It's time to stop fighting and submit. And, I mean, they're going through the history of her lineage, which goes back to Zeus, and how each generation has killed their previous generation's parents and stuff like that. And
Zeus killed Kronos, and Kronos killed Oropoulos, or whatever the heck his name was.
Yeah, and just basically you have shitty lineage. But then she goes, I may be a demigod, but I am also Diana, warrior princess with powers equal to the gods. Powers I use to help people and do what's right. Cease your lies. I know the truth. I love that panel where she's like, whatever you call it, like winding up with a fist and her like fingernails are there. I don't know. It's really cool. It's good art. And they're in D.C., I guess, because I see the Washington Monument there when they're fighting. And it says she's got a wanted poster, save a life, report on Amazon today. And then eventually it's like, this is...
You see something, say something.
Yeah. This story is very similar to Zatanna, where her dad was saying, like, magic comes at a cost. It may not come at a cost to you, but somebody pays for it when you use it. So that's what this is saying here, essentially, except is like, you know, you guys destroy all these buildings. You like the fight. You feel the spine tingle when war is inevitable. And you fight and fight, blah, 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 and all this, like, self-doubt and, like, looking at yourself in the mirror, how you're actually a monster, which is what I am right now, pretending to be a part of your monster. And there's just a lot of that text.
Well, it's kind of pointing out that the character, not just her, but a lot of superheroes are hypocrites. You know,
it can be.
You want to enforce the peace by pulling out your sword and killing people.
Well, I think that's why people love Superman, because he seems to not want that, even though he's like the ultimate, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, that's where, like, I mean, and that transcends not just the stories in the comic books of superheroes, but many different storylines. I mean, the Jedi as well, peacekeepers, and then they become soldiers, you know?
Yeah.
And
you could even extrapolate it to like our lives, like countries and militaries and stuff like that.
I thought that somebody had told you that I pulled out a sword and killed somebody to try to keep the peace. But yeah, I mean, we want to try to keep the peace. So what do we do as in the United States? We send over the 7th Carrier Fleet and bomb the crap out of somebody.
Now they're resting in peace.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so we maintain the peace by, I mean, what was the biggest way that we had peace during the Cold War? Mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, it's weird, right? To think about.
Yeah. We are a crazy species, no doubt.
Oh yeah. And she's half human, I guess, or part human. So she's got that crazy too, but then she's got her whole Zeus side who's crazy as well. And yeah, this is your true self, a creature that cannot live, that cannot die, that lives off submission of mortals and punishes them when they err. And Wonder Woman is starting to believe this. You can see it in her face. But then, you know, she triumphs. Right as she's about to be slain and accept it, she says a hero rises. And she's like, nah. I like this, actually, and now that I'm reliving it here.
Yeah.
She grabs this, like, dark version of herself and, like, absorbs it into her. And basically the idea is, listen, we all have our demons. It's how we deal with them. That is a true measure of who you are. I feel like. Did I get that right? I was kind of making it up as I went, but I think that was right.
No, it's like the definition of courage is not the absence of fear.
Yes.
But the fact of people persevere through fear.
Right. That's a great comparison, yeah.
If you, everybody knows the right and the wrong thing to do, Well, hopefully they know. If you're constantly trying to do the right thing, and you may still have feelings to do the wrong thing, but if you squash them and still always strive to do the right thing, then that, by definition, would make you a good person.
Mm-hmm. So, I thought that was really cool and nice. A nice story to tell. One day the darkness inside us all may win, but that day is not today. Boom. And then they wake up. We woke a bit ago. Glad you finally had joined us. In less snarky terms, we woke up where we had fallen in the moment. Yeah. So they're just talking to each other. What matters not is where we woke, but that we no longer rest. Now we should see who else awakes and what they would suggest.
Ah, yes, the rhymes.
That's my boy. This is the greatest rapper in DC history.
And then Constantine, I hate your rhyming gob. Gotta get that off my chest.
How's that? I just realized, now that you said it out loud, I realized he was just adding another line to it.
Yeah. Now he said, how's that?
Oh, that's awesome. Wow, Constantine, glad whatever lesson you learned back there didn't stick. He's pretty much just a, let's focus. This is fun. Yeah. Oh, God, please tell me this is an elaborate dream within a dream. It's not, but the nightmare minions have made it into the real world now, and they're all fighting them. And these are some hooked up looking multi-toothed assholes.
Yeah, and again, I'm glad that these guys are able to fight on 17th Street between 8th and 9th Avenue for these 4 or 5 nightmares. What's going on with the other 8.5 billion?
Maybe that's how they get out, though, through these heroes. Speaking of that, we need to stop this before more innocents are hurt. Ad litora non separata. All right, let's move, people, to Gotham and to war. To be continued in KnightTerrors Night's End.
Now, I've got 2 questions concerning Wonder Woman. One, when did her lasso become barbed wire?
I don't know.
And 2, how long is that damn thing?
I think it's...
It looks like it's about 500 feet.
I think it's one of those things that just is.
As long as she needs it to
Yeah.
be. Well, this is also in Night's End. Apparently, Night's End is going to be one heck of a story.
As I see that more and more, I'm like, whew, is this going to be a king size or...
I hope so.
I hope so,
and
too.
I hope it's 72 pages, and I hope that it doesn't have 36 pages of ads telling me to buy the other Night Terror books.
Oh, all right. So
yeah, the Nubia storyline is just a big fight, the whole thing. It's not good. So
yeah, I mean, and I don't even think the art is very good either.
no, the bodies don't look right.
And this swamp thing has big floppy boobs, and I mean I do too, but I'm not in a comic book.
Gaia,
Yes.
which usually means Earth.
Yes.
But yeah, it was very. I read it, and honestly, it's very forgettable.
Yeah. So
was that it for this week?
yeah, man, that's it. We conquered it.
It was not as strong as the prior week,
I agree with you.
but it was still good.
I agree with you.
It was still good. Favorite book of the week?
Oops, I lost my headset here. Sorry. Hello?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Favorite book of the week?
Oh, boy. Gosh, it's a toss-up between Superman and Wonder Woman, I think.
For me, it was No Brainer Superman. For me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Wonder Woman was bad, but I like Superman. It wasn't this, it was this.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good sign that we both thought it was. That means it probably was. So.
For the week itself, though, a little weaker than the week before, 7-0.
That's where I was going to land. Yeah.
Yep.
Next week we've got KnightTerrors number 4 of the main line.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah. Hopefully more Dead Man. Basically KnightTerrors Dead Man. Action Comics number 2. Angel Breaker number 2. That's exciting.
Okay.
Not really.
Cool.
Detective Comics number 2. Harley Quinn number 2. And Titans number 2.
There's a couple of good stories in there. I like the fact that we're getting a lot of the number 2s now.
Yeah.
You know, I was going crazy with all the number 1s.
And then following that is just the one, KnightTerrors Night's End. So
847 pages in small font.
I'm going to try to figure out actually how big. Well, you know what? I bet I could find out right now. 48 pages. So,
but there hopefully won't be too many ads for other books and stuff, right?
I have no way to tell. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, along with the DCU's other heroes, have escaped the Nightmare Realm only to find Nightmare League has... The Nightmare League. Okay, so that's what those people are called. Has followed them home. The entire world has become engulfed in horror. And the last person standing to take down Insomnia... Okay, well, this is kind of spoilery. I will leave it at that.
I'm looking at it on cover price. It says 8 issues.
8 variants?
8 well, it says 8 issues.
Hmm.
But I do see 8 variants, so maybe that's what they meant.
I think so.
I don't see the artist's name on these things, all pre-releases. Cover A looks interesting, but the Dead Man cover looks really nice.
Where he's like pulling.
Yeah.
That's a 1 in 50.
Of course it is.
But anyway, yeah, that's exciting. Looking forward to that. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, release date of August 30th.
Yes.
So not this week, but next week.
Yep.
All right, cool. Bring us home, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping in with us here on the Back Issue Book Club. Wherever you listen to your podcasts, you can find this podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Team Ohana to get this very podcast very early each week. Also, extra Remember Me video picks exclusive to the Patreon. Our watch-along videos. We'll be doing Ahsoka this coming week. Also, pulling books once a month from my special pull box, which I just sent out 3 months worth today. Polls, general camaraderie, just special stuff there. Easily worth $3 a month. It's a joke. Don't forget to check out our Etsy shop, where we've got the link for that in the video, and the link tree, which is in the video, where you can get merch like this, choose your colors, show off your Team Ohana pride, and check out our YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on the podcast, youtube.com/@TeamOhana. We put out a lot of videos, man, for having day jobs. we put out a good amount of content, so come check us out, like and subscribe. Please leave a review of this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate and review, that would be super helpful. Anything else?
Just tell us what you like and tell us what you don't, so we can make it better.
There you go. On that note, until next time, mahalo.